Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toaster Bros, and today we're checking out a brand new graphics card that is under $150, has 8 gigs of VRAM, and we're very familiar with it.
You can buy this 5500 XT, 8 gigs of VRAM for $140 from Amazon, this Acer RX 5500 XT, and honestly, I absolutely love the fact that this exists. But before we talk about that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Huge thanks to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Stay tuned to hear more about them later.
So what's really awesome is the 5500 XT is actually a more modern card that actually has a built-in encoder, so it's actually gonna be pretty decent for low-end streaming. It's gonna be really good for gaming because you do have 8 gigs of VRAM, and like I said, it's a card we're very familiar with. These cards were technically released 2 generations ago, but here we are still looking at them today, and I'm pretty excited to see just how well it is, because we did recently look at those RX 580 8 gigs, but obviously those were a little bit dumbed down, so I'm excited to see this one being the normal performance.
Yes, of course, for about $100 or like $110, you can get the RX 580 with 2048 stream processors, but this thing is a full-fledged RX 5500 XT, and I think you're getting a lot of value here. Let's go over some of the key specs of this graphics card. Now, as we mentioned, this is an RX 5500 XT. It is a Navi 14 GPU with a base clock of 1607 megahertz with a boost up to 1845 megahertz, the memory speed of 1750 megahertz, and that 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM is gonna be absolutely great for newer AAA titles that are very VRAM dependent, and it does pull only 130 watts, which is incredibly power efficient for your budget gaming PC build. And as we mentioned, $140 new on Amazon. What we ended up doing was slapping this thing in our test bench and just seeing how well it actually performs, because, you know, AMD has the 6500 XT for close to the same price, but realistically, you're getting 8 gigs of VRAM versus 4, you're getting encoder versus no encoder, and you get more video outs on this one too. You got 4 versus 2 on the 6500 XT, so this thing is a really good value. Let's talk about the test bench real quick.
So the test bench right here, inside of this wonderful deep cool case with a nice deep cool liquid 240mm cooler, is a 5600G, that is a 6-core 12 thread, and then we have the Accelerate PNY RAM, 3600 megahertz, so we have nice fast speed. It is dual channel, 16 gigs, so we're not holding ourselves back there. Of course, we have an RX 5500 XT that will light up your joyousness, and we have a 650 watt XPG, we have a 1TB NVMe SSD, and we have a B550 Asus TUF motherboard. So pretty good test bench, especially for a card like this. We're obviously going to be, if anything, bottlenecked by the card, but before we actually do the benchmarks, I want Matt to show you guys the card box, because I love reading this every time.
So yeah, the card box, you'll see some B-roll on screen here, is light up your joyousness.
Yep.
Light up your joyousness. You know, Acer RX, I love these budget cards, but please, I want to know what this means. Can you explain, what are we lighting up exactly? There's no lighting on this card, but we're lighting up our joyousness.
More realistic photos and per-fast image quality.
More call games. The modeling environment of lifelike environments supersede and performance. Allow users to have no excellent compatibility.
More HD video. Play real HD video. Smooth and smooth playback. Effects supporting multiple monitors for easy video editing.
Better performance. A processor for graphics processing, enhancing the overall performance of the system. User experience. High definition HD home theater on PC, hoping to achieve excellent graphics quality, smooth video playback, multiple display connections. Acer RX graphics card can be easily realized.
Let's freaking benchmark this card.
Easily realized. Now, before we go into the game testing, I do want to mention we have benchmarked the 5500 XT on our test bench recently on the channel, but the main reason we're testing this one is because of the Acer RX model that was sent over to us by Acer RX, so shout out to them for sending it over. We really want to see what the temperatures look like, and you'll be able to tell using MSI Afterburn in their top left corner, and make sure there's no stability issues with this card, because the main value proposition is the fact that this card is new and ready to ship with Prime shipping from Amazon. So will it live up to the expectations that we have? Well, let's dive into those games. Alright guys, now that we have this 5500 XT on the test bench, let's dive into some games, shall we? Now the games we decided to test are as follows: Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, Apex Legends, Cyberpunk, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and Forza Horizon 5. Now first up, in one of the most popular games right now, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, on 1080p basic preset, we got 80 plus FPS. Now, this is a game where the 5500 XT is going to absolutely thrive at that $140 mark on Amazon. You're easily able to get 60 plus FPS at 1080p on basically what is medium-low settings. If you go to the balance preset, which is more like medium-high, you'll probably get about a 60 FPS average. But the real story here is that not only did you get 80 plus FPS, sometimes you were in the 100s, and also you weren't having many dips below 60, so you weren't dealing with any sort of stutter. It's a really playable 1080p gaming experience. And this is being paired with a 5600G from AMD. And the main reason we ended up pairing this with the 5600G is because a lot of people are going to be upgrading their systems with 5600Gs or lower end CPUs with a graphics card for $140 from Amazon, like the 5500 XT. And this is just a real world test of what kind of performance you can get. Stay tuned, because in the future we will be upgrading our test bench with a 5700 from AMD, and this will allow us to have that Gen 4 support for higher end GPUs. But I think the 5500 XT fares pretty well with this Gen 3 5600G, because it is kind of a realistic expectation of what kind of system you would pair this GPU with. Next up is Apex Legends, 1080p medium-high settings, and we got 100 plus FPS. In these benchmark videos, I really like to talk about what kind of pairing would make a whole lot of sense with this GPU. I would think if you're building a new system right now with this 5500 XT going on Amazon, Newegg, or any other retailer, I think something like the i3-12100 would be a really good pairing, because you do get that Gen 4 support and 4 cores and 8 threads. Or if you could pick up the 13100F, which is the newer Intel CPU, which is going to be a really good budget champion, that would be a good option as well. You could probably build a gaming PC for about $500 doing that with all new parts, which let us know if you want to see that configuration on the channel. I'm kind of tempted to do that. But as you can see in Apex Legends medium-high settings, you get 100 plus FPS. Esports titles are going to be no problem for this GPU, and realistically at $140, there's not really a card that can do that right now that's on the new market. And it's really cool to see that this card actually exists on Amazon with Prime shipping. Now, yes, you could go to AliExpress and probably buy one for about $100 or less, but if you're in the United States, you're going to have to wait a long time for it to show up, and there's a higher risk of something going wrong. As long as you buy something from Amazon, you do have that buyer protection that if something goes wrong, you can do a refund directly through Amazon and get your money back. So I think this is a pretty good value proposition. Now let's dive into some of the AAA titles that are really going to push this thing to its limits. Cyberpunk 1080p medium settings with an important note, performance FSR settings. We had an average of 77 FPS, a minimum of 52, and a max of 177. That max of 177 is kind of weird. I would just totally ignore that number. But using FSR, AMD's upscaling technology, even at 1080p with medium settings, yields us a 60 plus FPS experience in a game like Cyberpunk. That's not something to look over. Cyberpunk is a very demanding game, and as long as there are games out there that have FSR support, you'll have no problems getting 60 plus FPS with this 5500 XT. Now, another game that is a bit older, but we just like to test it because it is a staple of our benchmark run, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 1080p medium settings, we got 79 FPS average. Again, another AAA title that is still pretty demanding. You could run this on high and probably get a 60 FPS average, depending on what you're looking for, more visual quality or more performance. It's up to you with this 5500 XT. And the last game we decided to test was Forza Horizon 5, once again 1080p medium settings, and we got 77 FPS average. In recap, this 5500 XT from Azurix is a, well, interesting card. I do like that this company is bringing these older cards to market and basically taking advantage of cards that were used for cryptocurrency mining that are just not valuable anymore. People don't want these for cryptocurrency mining because of the cryptocurrency crash going on right now. So it's really cool to see a company is definitely taking advantage of that and putting together these newer cards that will actually deliver some value in the gaming market where there's really no new card value out there right now. It's really hard for us to recommend buying a new budget GPU unless you're buying one of these cards, the 580 with 2048 stream processors, or this card right here. There's just nothing new that really competes with it. And yeah, it's a good value for the money. If you're building a budget gaming PC right now, I would definitely check that link down below. It will be an affiliate link and it will help us out because yeah, I'm really impressed with these budget cards right now, and let us know what you think of them down below. But yeah, 5500 XT 8 gig in 2023 is actually still a good buy. Let's bring Jackson back in here to wrap this video up real quick.
Big shout out to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Factor is here to help you reach your goals this year. If you're looking to make more time in your day, then look no further. You can skip not only the trip to the grocery store, but shopping, prepping, and the cleanup too. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so you can go from hungry to ready in no time. Factor also supports you no matter the lifestyle, with keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and protein plus meals on the menu each week. Prepared by chefs and dietitians, every meal will provide all the ingredients you need to stay satisfied all day. Factor makes it easy. It used to take forever for me to decide what I'm going to eat for lunch every day, but now I just look in the fridge, grab a quick and delicious meal, and get right back to it. The lack of grocery runs and cleanup are really a lifesaver when life gets busy. So if you've been on the fence about trying a meal-to-door service, don't wait any longer. Head to factor75.com or click the link below. Use code ToastyBros60 to get 60% off your first Factor box. This amazing deal makes it easy to get started, so big thanks to Factor for sponsoring today's video.
Alright guys, we just got done benchmarking this graphics card, and yeah, it honestly feels like we just bought one of these 5500 XTs 4 years ago when they pretty much came out, and it worked really well, so we really enjoyed it. Like we said, 4 display outs, it is a dual lane card, pretty decent and adequate cooling, it's not a super loud card either, and overall it really did light up our joyousness.
It lit up our joyousness. That really shook me there. But yeah, 5500 XT, you could buy it new, 140 bucks, and easily build a brand new gaming PC for, I'd say 500 bucks or less, no problem whatsoever with a lot of newer hardware. Obviously, if you want to take full advantage of this card, get something with some Gen 4 support because it is a Gen 4 card, but I really do think a Gen 3 slot is going to be absolutely fine for this card as well. It's not like the 6500 XT that's going to be really hindered in terms of performance if you slap this in an older system, but I think it's a very versatile card, and I think it's definitely worth the extra money over the RX 580 2048 stream processors. And if you want to buy one, check the link in the description down below. They will fill links, they will help us out. Let us know what kind of build you want to see with this card, because you know what, we have it now, so we might as well do a PC build with it and show you guys a full system that you can build on the cheap.
So overall, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Stay joyousness.
This graphics card will likely end up in a PC Bros PC, and you won't have to worry about any translation because we will take care of that for you.
PCBros.tech, we take graphics cards and put them in systems so you don't have to read the box. If you use code ToastyBros2 on checkout, you'll save 2% on your next purchase of a gaming PC, gaming laptop, and so much more. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace out.